Search for Kerala this week on Google News and what do you get? Zika virus report from Kerala, and textile major Kitex ditching fresh investment in Kerala and instead opting for Telangana. Goodness gracious, is Kerala doomed? Will more companies follow in Kitex's footsteps and go to Telangana? Well, societies are not built in a day, nor do they collapse overnight. This week, it's quite natural to compare Kerala and Telangana given the decision of Kitex, one of Kerala's largest private sector employers, to invest in Telangana and not to have any additional investment in Kerala. The two states have some similarities. For one, their populations are near identical, about 35 million each. And their government websites are equally poor, as boring, listless and unattractive as government websites can get. The similarities end there because on parameters like literacy and industry friendliness or the ease of doing business, Kerala and Telangana are poles apart. Now there's something bizarre about the literacy levels and industry friendliness of Indian states. They are inversely correlated. Kerala leads India in literacy with 96% literacy, followed by Delhi with 89% and Uttarakhand at third place with 88%. Telangana with 73% and Andhra Pradesh with 66% come way below. In fact, Telangana is fourth from the bottom and Andhra Pradesh comes last among Indian states in literacy. Now consider the ease of doing business and the positions are literally reversed. Andhra Pradesh comes first in ease of doing business, the backbencher in literacy, Uttar Pradesh is second and Telangana comes third. Kerala comes at a lowly 28th place, second from the bottom. Now that's mind-boggling. States with the lowest literacy levels are champions in industry and the literacy leader has high unemployment. Do we infer that the more we educate our children, the more likely they'll be unemployed? Makes for an interesting PhD hypothesis. At first look, Kerala appears a total mess with high literacy and high unemployment. Politicians, trade unions and bureaucrats give a harrowing time to businesses in Kerala, forcing many of them to shut shop or invest elsewhere like Kitex did this week. From Coke and Pepsi to non-resident Keralites who try to set up a small shop or a convention center in Kerala, numerous businesses have faced harassment in the state. But look at the bright side. Kerala's mess turns out to be a blessing for the rest of India and the world. Kitex being the latest with 4,000 likely jobs in Telangana. Bizarre but true, Kerala's legions of youth who are educated but unemployed at home seek and earn jobs worldwide, earning in dollars, euros, pounds, dinars and dirhams instead of the weak Indian rupee. So even in these dark days of COVID, Kerala's banks' coffers are overflowing with NRI deposits. Believe it or not, non-resident Keralites' bank deposits actually grew in high double digits, 14%, from 1.99 trillion rupees in December 2019 to 2.27 trillion rupees in December 2020. And this growth at a time when the World Bank's Migration and Development Brief had said an estimated 1.2 million migrant workers in GCC countries contributing 30% of the state's income returned to Kerala in 2020 after the pandemic had left them jobless. Of course, these are not strictly remittances, but foreign currency deposits parked in banks that can be repatriated later. But even then, it isn't easy analyzing the DNA of a state which messes itself up despite high literacy rates. I asked three experts from three different fields, a businessman, a professional consultant who's worked for the government and a politician for their assessments of Kerala. P. Ganesh, businessman and former chairman of CII Kerala, feels politics is Kerala's undoing.
Today, politics is also a very big business. Whether it is in Telangana or some other place where you go, there also you go and start a political outfit, the repercussions will be still hard, very hard.
Technocrat and the first CEO of Technopark, the first IT park in India, G. Vijayaraghavan, points to the inspection Raj as a spoiler. How the factories and boilers inspector had tried to interfere even with IT companies and how the then Chief Minister of Kerala, K. Karunakaran, had nipped it in the bud.
So you can't say inspection can't happen. Inspection can't happen without a valid reason and without the permission of the CEO.
Communist Marxist Party CMP General Secretary C.P. John says there ought to be enough clarity on the roles of politicians and businessmen.
They lack the role clarity in business. An industrial house need not float a political party.
Whatever the reasons, the way Kerala messes with the lives of its citizens, more and more Keralites seem likely to exit the state on work or business and bless the rest of the world. Where else in the world will you find, in a place with high unemployment, workers shouting slogans against the government to lay its hands off their company and protect their jobs, as what happened in Kitex recently? Or small business owners who have been ravaged by unimaginative shutdowns in the state, demanding that the government permit them to do business and save livelihoods, as happened in Kozhikode this week. Fact is, Kerala can match any other state in human resource or competence. Telangana's flamboyant industry minister K.T. Ramarao is a double postgraduate, an MSc in biotechnology and an MBA from the City University of New York. Kerala's industry minister P. Rajeev is no pushover either, with a double graduation in economics and law. And he also holds a diploma in chemical engineering. But it is their approach, agenda and outlook to business that makes all the difference. Listen to the two of them. First to K.T. Ramarao speaking at a time when Tim Cook had decided that Apple would invest in Hyderabad.
Honorable Chief Minister, the CEO of Apple, Hyderabad is definitely one of the best cities in India in terms of cost of living, in terms of quality of living, in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the human resources, in terms of the proactive policies, in terms of doing business, ease of doing business as well. We are a new state. We like to call ourselves a startup state because we've only been around for 2 years and we operate with the bent of mind of a startup.
Now listen to how Kerala Industry Minister P. Rajeev serves ideology.
പക്ഷെ ഇപ്പോൾ കാണുന്നത് ക്ലാസിക്കൽ മുതലാളിത്തത്തെ കുറിച്ച് മാർക്സ് നിർവചിച്ച ഘട്ടത്തിൽ ഈ കണ്ടതുപോലെ കുറെ കൂടി ഓരോന്നും കേന്ദ്രീകരിച്ചു കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു.
Make whatever you can of it. So investors can go to Telangana, and those with a philosophical bent of mind and a deep interest in the clash of classical Marxism versus classical capitalism and the classical unemployment that emanates from the debate can opt to comfortably stay in Kerala. But if you don't appreciate the ground reality that Kerala may be more fertile for ideology rather than industry, we'll have to suffer like the non-resident Keralite Nazir, who is trying to put up a shopping mall in Kadakuttam, had to undergo this week.
ഇവിടെ വന്ന അന്ന് മുതൽ ഇവിടുത്തെ യൂണിയൻകാരെന്ന് പറയുന്നവർ എന്നെ നിരന്തരമായിട്ട് എന്നെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടിപ്പിക്കുകയും വഴക്ക് പറയുകയും എന്നെ അടിക്കാൻ വരെ അവർ വന്നു.
In this case, he was lucky that social media coverage, more than any government intervention, forced the militant trade unions to accept to work according to legally laid down norms. This video is dedicated to a British businessman and a Kerala nurse, Richard Branson, who widened our imagination of civilian space travel this week, and Mayusha Shaiju, a nurse at the Pushpagiri Hospital in Tiruvalla, Kerala, who has redefined nursing in her own unique way, singing to patients in her care. Mayusha is representative of the world-class human resource that Kerala produces. But it's highly likely that she will soon be a blessing to some hospital in Germany, Australia, the US, or the NHS in the UK. Thank you.